a poet of a generation, the iconic figure of grunge, Kurt Cobain. As always, we approach this sensitive topic with the utmost respect and understanding for Kurt, his family, and his fans. Seattle is a city that gave birth to grunge, a genre that challenged the status quo and grappled with the anguish and disillusionment of a generation. Nirvana was at the forefront of this movement, led by the enigmatic Kurt Cobain. Cobain's rise to stardom was meteoric yet fraught with personal battles and inner turmoil. His raw and visceral music touched millions, creating a cult of personality that still survives. But today, we're focusing on those tragic final days in April 1994 to try and understand what really happened and perhaps find some closure in this dark chapter of rock history. To fully grasp the gravity of Cobain's final days, we need to venture back into the preceding weeks, which were marred by concerns for his well-being and escalating issues with addiction. Friends and family members had reported Cobain's increasingly erratic behavior, a disheartening testament to his deteriorating state. The weight of fame, the strain on his personal life, and his battle with addiction were clearly taking a toll. He was not okay. I could see him losing himself. It was terrifying to witness. Kurt Cobain had retreated from the public eye, seeking solace and perhaps trying to find a way to regain control over his life. During this time, Cobain reportedly stayed at the Exodus Recovery Center in Los Angeles, attempting to break free from the chains of addiction. It was a glimpse of hope, a possibility of renewal, but tragically, it wasn't to last. Cobain left the facility on April 1, 1994, reportedly climbing over a wall. His whereabouts in the following days are a mix of confirmed sightings and speculation. Back in Seattle, Cobain seemed to be a shadow, wandering in a city that had once embraced his revolutionary sound. His movements are somewhat shrouded in mystery, a painful prelude to the unfolding tragedy. As we approach those final moments, it is essential to remember that beyond the icon, the legend, was a man, a human being grappling with unimaginable pressures, battling demons that seemed impossible. Cobain's artistry was often a window into his soul, a glimpse of the complex and beautiful mind that was slowly succumbing to darkness. On March 1, 1994, Cobain was diagnosed with bronchitis and severe laryngitis following a tour stop at Terminal 1 in Munich, Germany. He flew to Rome the next day for medical treatment and was joined there on March 3rd by his wife, Courtney Love. Love awoke the next morning to discover that Cobain had overdosed on champagne and Rohypnol. Cobain was rushed to the hospital and spent the rest of the day unconscious. Cobain was released after 5 days and returned to Seattle. Love later stated that the incident was Cobain's first attempt at suicide. On March 25, 1994, Love organized an intervention for Cobain's drug use. Among the 10 people involved were musician friends, record company executives, and Dylan Carlson, one of Cobain's closest friends. Cobain reacted angrily, insulting and mocking the participants before locking himself in the upstairs bedroom. However, by the end of the day, Cobain had agreed to go through a detox program, and on March 30, 1994, he checked into a residential facility in Los Angeles for a few days. On April 8, 1994, the world stopped for a moment as news emerged from Cobain's residence in Seattle. A young life, a blazing talent, extinguished far too soon. The official report concluded that Cobain had taken his own life, a single gunshot wound marking a torture journey's end. But as with many legends, Cobain's death became a fertile ground for theories and speculation. In the wake of Cobain's passing, numerous theories have emerged, challenging the official narrative. Many believe that Cobain, despite his known struggles, was not in a state to end his own life, pointing to inconsistencies in the case. Over the years, investigators and enthusiasts have scrutinized the case, with some proposing the idea of foul play. These theories often hinge on the high levels of heroin found in Cobain's system and the alleged absence of fingerprints on the shotgun. But amidst the maelstrom of theories, it's crucial to approach this topic with sensitivity and respect. While seeking answers is natural, we must remember the real person at the heart of this tragic tale. As we wrap up this deep dive into Cobain's final days, let us remember him for his artistry, his vision, and the raw, emotional connection he forged with his fans. Grohl believed he predicted Cobain's death, saying, "Sometimes you just can't save someone from themselves, and that, in some ways, you kind of prepare yourself emotionally for that to be a reality." Dave Reed, Cobain's foster father for a short time, stated that he had the desperation, not the courage, to be himself. You can't go wrong once you've done that because you can't make any mistakes when people love you for being yourself. It didn't matter to Kurt that other people loved him, he simply didn't love himself enough. Cobain is regarded as one of the most influential rock musicians in alternative music history. His angst-fueled songwriting and anti-establishment persona earned him the title Generation X spokesman. Furthermore, Cobain's songs broadened the themes of 1980s mainstream rock music to include discussions of personal reflection and social issues. Nirvana was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on April 10, 2014. Grohl, Novoselic, and Love accepted the award at the ceremony, which also remembered Cobain. In his music, we find a sanctuary, a place where vulnerability meets strength, where pain finds its voice, and where a young man from Aberdeen, Washington became the voice of a disillusioned generation. Cobain's legacy is undiminished, a beacon of creativity and authenticity in a world often devoid of real connection. As we ponder on those final days, let's choose to remember Kurt Cobain for the life he lived rather than the tragic circumstances of his death. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. Remember to hold your loved ones close and find strength in music's transformative power.